MMA free weekly forecast for the week beginning December 21st, 2020. Review and preview. The stock market appears set on rising into 2021. A year expected to see some return to normalcy above trend economic growth and a higher stock market, according to Wall Street strategists. Those in CNBC's survey expect an average 2021 year-end target 4,556, or about a 9.5% gain from current levels. Vaccines are expected to liberate individuals from pandemic restrictions and in turn, free the economy as 2021 progresses. Work from home should shift back to work at the office. Patty Dom, Wall Street strategist, sees stocks gaining 9% in 2021, CNBC.com, December 18th, 2020. The one problem with the above quote is that Jupiter and Saturn are conjoining one another and both will square Uranus in the next 2 months. Nothing goes quite as expected when Uranus is in the house, and with Jupiter involved, it tends to go way off the expected course. However, last week was a prime example of how powerful heliocentric Mercury in Sagittarius can be, December 9th through 20th. Oh, the trickster Mercury was later than usual in his ploy to goose markets to exaggerated heights, but he showed up after all last week in Bitcoin, which soared to a new all-time high. Crude oil, soybeans, and currencies soared to post-crash highs. Gold and silver reversed and soared new multi-week highs. All had stellar performances last week. Now let's see what happens this week as the Roadrunner crosses over the boundary into Capricorn, which tends to be a little less exaggerative than Sagittarius. Further brakes may be applied given that Saturn, the brakes, will conjoin Jupiter, the gas pedal, on Monday. Stock markets were positive for much of last week, and with new all-time intraday highs being recorded in all the indices we track, Dow Jones, NASDAQ, and S&P, it was the same elsewhere. In Europe, the German DAX index is testing its all-time high, and the AEX is making a new post-crash high. It's lagging in the London FTSE and Zurich SMI indices. In the Far East, India's Nifty is making new all-time highs, and the Australian ASX is at a new post-crash high. Japan's Nikkei made a new 29-year high the prior week and is still close to it. But China and Hong Kong are lagging. Brazil's Bovespa is knocking on the door too, very close to a new all-time high. Everything looks great as we leave the Sagittarius zone next week. And then a cosmic shift begins to take place as the season of Capricorn begins and Jupiter advances to the other side of Saturn, with both on their way to square Uranus over the next 2 months. Nothing goes quite as expected. Short-term geocosmics. Even though we are entering the crux of holiday season and market volume is apt to be light, there are several geocosmic signatures of importance that will be occurring. In fact, this begins a 2-month period of long-term outer planetary cycles that are the most significant since March 16th through April 4th, 2020, which was the peak of the market panic surrounding the COVID-19 pandemic. It does not escape our attention as we enter this critical December 17th through February 17th geocosmic period that the second wave of COVID-19 is coinciding with another period of hysteria regarding both the health and economic threat to the nation, to the world. So far, it hasn't adversely affected world equity markets, which continue to perform well following their panic low of March 16th through 23rd, 2020. When several lost 30 to 40% of their value in just 1 month. We cannot rule out the possibility of something similar occurring again between now and March based solely on these cosmic cycles. Let's make the list of these stellar dates ahead, and which we have already started last week. December 17th, Saturn leaves Capricorn after 3 years and enters Aquarius for the next 3. December 19th, Jupiter leaves Capricorn after 3 years and enters Aquarius for the next year. December 21st, winter solstice and the 20-year conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn, 0 degrees Aquarius. January 17th, 2021, Jupiter square Uranus, quarter cycle of its 14-year synodic cycle. February 17th, 2021, first passages of Saturn square Uranus quarter cycle of its 45-year synodic cycle. It is interesting that the midpoint is January 17th, when Jupiter squares Uranus. Jupiter-Uranus aspects have the highest correlation to primary or greater cycles of all planetary combinations, according to our studies reported in the Ultimate Book on Stock Market Timing, Volume 3, Geocosmic Correlations to Trading Cycles. We need to focus on this period for other reasons too. Uranus turns direct on January 14th, and Mars will conjoin Uranus square Jupiter on January 2021, followed by the Sun conjoining Jupiter and Saturn square Uranus January 24th through 29th. In the study of astrology, Jupiter rules exaggeration, and Uranus pertains to disruptions and sudden, unpredictable developments that often coincide with the breakage of boundaries, rules, laws, or support resistance in markets. It's hacking too, which is already a big problem in the US security systems, as reported last week. As one can see, there are several Uranus signatures occurring January 14th through 29th, and it is the midway point of 3 outer planet aspects, each relating to cycles of over 14 years in their perisons. This may be a time of incredible inspiration, the positive side of Uranus, and or unbelievable instability, disruption, and violation of norms. Financial markets may explode to new all-time highs, or investors may panic and markets could, not necessarily will, plunge sharply. With Uranus, you never know until you get there. And then the key is to adjust quickly and not stubbornly hold on to beliefs that are no longer valid and no longer work. Long-term thoughts, a Christmas story. Change lasts when it comes through inspiration, not accusation. Peggy Noonan, Mrs. Smith's Tips for New Lawmakers, Wall Street Journal, December 12th through 13th, 2020. One of our readers inquired about the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction and the Star of Bethlehem. It is an appropriate question, especially since Jupiter and Saturn stunningly appear together in the evening skies now as we approach the winter solstice and the Christmas holiday that celebrates the birth of Jesus, the Savior of mankind, according to Christian scriptures. The famed Star of Bethlehem was likely a conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn in the sign of Pisces. It occurred 3 times in 7 BC, May 29th, September 30th, and December 5th. Pisces is the sign of the fish, a symbol of Christianity, and it represents spiritual awakening and caring for the suffering of others. The wise men were also known as Magi. They were astrologers who knew the meaning of the bright star. The conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn. First, they saw the star, then it disappeared, and then it returned again and led them to Bethlehem, which had been identified in the Old Testament as the place where the Savior would be born. Seeing the star, then having it disappear, then reappear again is normal in a 3-passage series of outer planet conjunctions. However, it is unlikely that the birth took place on December 25th. For it was past the time of the 3 conjunctions, and shepherds would not be watching the sheep at night during that season of the year. It is also unlikely that the birth took place after 4 BC, for King Harold died in 4 BC. The birth had to take place before he died, for he was the king who declared a tax on the people, and that's why Joseph and Mary traveled to Bethlehem. So Jesus was not likely a Capricorn born on December 25th and in a year of the Common Era, 0 BC. More likely, as I see it, Jesus was a Virgo or possibly a Leo or a Libra. Why? Because Jupiter-Saturn would be the brightest star in the evening sky when opposite the sun. The sun would be opposite Pisces, Jupiter and Saturn, in Virgo, thus creating such a very bright star. Next to Virgo is Leo and Libra, which could also coincide with a bright star at night with Jupiter and Saturn in Pisces. It is said that Jesus was born in a manger. The Magi, or astrologers of that time, were very aware of fixed stars. There is a fixed star in the constellation of Cancer, home, known as Praseki, M44, or the beehive, or the manger. The moon, also symbolizing home or mother as it's the ruler of Cancer, was in this degree of the zodiac on September 18th, 7 BC. So the Magi, through their knowledge of astrology, knew the location and they knew the approximate time when the child would be born. And thus goes the story of the birth of Jesus from one astrological point of view. Of course, there is no documentation to verify this story is factual, but it does make for a good astrological Christmas story. And here we are again, on the verge of another Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, this time in Aquarius for the first time in over 600 years. It is the beginning of what astrologers call the air epoch, for it will take now place every 20 years in an air sign for the next 140 years. Pisces is the symbol for the spiritual and religious path and is the perfect sign symbolizing the birth of Christianity, as well as other religions that emerged near the same time. The conjunction in 7 BC was also near the start of the age of Pisces. Every 2,160 years, the precision of the equinoxes changes signs as a new age begins. We are now heading to the start of the age of Aquarius, and the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction on Monday, December 21st, takes place at 0 degrees Aquarius. The age of Pisces brought forth a savior who taught the importance of peace and love for one another, perfect Piscean values. Aquarius, on the other hand, is more worldly oriented. It is a symbol of mankind, the masses of the world, but it more scientific and technology based than Pisces. The Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, known as the Great Chronometer, has been looked upon in the past as a sign foretelling the emergence of new world leaders and a shift in the arc of human destiny. Thus, to those who look to the heavens for guidance and who understand the relationship between cycles and human activity to cycles in the cosmos, this is an important time in the evolution of humanity. With these thoughts in mind, may you have a happy, healthy holiday season. And we will see you on the other side of the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction as we leave Capricorn past for Aquarius future. It is the start of a new cosmic era. Now we have some announcements. The first up is the Merriman Market Timing Academy, MMTA, will begin its 2-year program, first starting on January 16th, 2021. So this is only the second time it's been offered since the first class graduated in 2014, and there will not be another offering for at least 2 years. The first course will last 7 weeks, and they will all be offered live via Zoom from 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Saturdays. Each time a class is live, we'll have those recordings available on the following class. The subject of course 1 will be cycles and patterns in financial markets, with an emphasis on the US stock market. It will also include discussions on cycles and precious metals, currencies, T-notes, crude oil, Bitcoin, and grain markets. It will not include material on geocosmic cycles. That begins in course 2. Course 1 will explain these patterns and confirming technical and charting signals involved in labeling long-term, intermediate-term, and primary cycles and their phases. You do not have to have any background in markets or cycles to take this course. We assume each student is beginning with no knowledge, but by the end of the course, each student should know clearly how to label each cycle type, understand what type of pattern is unfolding, know where the market is within each cycle, and the investment or trading strategy to employ at any point within the cycle, just as we perform in the MMA cycles report. If you do not know the MMA market methodology, then this course will be an awakening. You will never look at price charts the same ever again. They will now make sense to you. The cost for course 1 and any course that we offer is $1,800. MMTA overall is a rigorous 2-year program in the MMA market timing methodology of analyzing and trading financial markets as developed by Merriman. There will be 8 courses in all, each consisting of 6 to 7 classes, each class lasting 2 to 3 hours each on Saturday afternoons beginning at 1 p.m. Eastern. There will be a 1-month between each course and a 3-month break between the first and second year of courses. The course will be taught by Gianni, MMTA graduate and apprentice of Ray Merriman. The cost for the entire 2-year program is $12,000, with a 10% discount if you are a yearly subscriber to one of the MMA subscription reports. It is also possible to sign up for 1 year with $6,600 or even one course for $1,800 at a time. But sign up now before we begin on January 16th, 2021. Don't miss your opportunity to get in on the ground floor of MMTA's educational and training models if you are truly interested in learning the principles and values of financial market timing. There is nothing else like this available today. Please note that this session of the Academy is nearly full. There are only 4 openings left as of right now, and we limit this amount of students we're going to have for each term. So if you want to learn more about MMTA, go to our website, go to shop, go to education, and then from there, click on MMTA page. We also have a 45-minute interview you can check out between Gianni and Ray, as well as an FAQ better explaining what to expect out of the program. All right, our second note is that the Forecast 2021 book is out. So it was printed last week, it was mailed last week, they're out right now, and the reviews are coming in. In fact, the ebook English version has been out for a week now. So if you wanted immediate access to the Forecast book, go ahead and order the ebook because we can instantly get that to you right after you place the order. If you have not ordered this year's book and do want a printed copy, order it right away. We always sell out, and we're only going to have a few left this year because we had a big shipment that already came in, taking from our inventory. So we're only going to have a handful of boxes left. Those are probably going to be available for shipment in early January. So if you do want those, again, go on before early January, place your order for the print copy now. In addition to this year's Forecast book, we also are offering a separate publication for those who enjoy the yearly trends for the 12 individual signs. That is titled Trends for the 12 Signs 2021. And that printed version is available now for immediate shipment, and the ebook is also available now for immediate download. We are going to offer a new book in January 2021. That book is going to be titled Great Conjunction, Shifting Times, and that's being offered by one of the world's leading mundane astrologers, Chris McRae of Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. This is a fascinating book on the history of great conjunctions involving the outer planets throughout history. It is especially appropriate today because 2020 was such a year exhibiting great conjunctions. In fact, the grandest of all outer planetary conjunctions, the Jupiter-Saturn synodic cycle, will take place on December 21st, 2020. So this book is timely. The insights that Chris McRae provides on these are rare but remarkable configurations will make this one of the most valuable additions to the field of mundane astrology. The book is due to be released in January 2021, and the cost will be $24.95. But if you do want to pre-order the book now, we are having it on discount to the end of the year for $19.95. Our final note, note 4, is that our MMA monthly cycles report did come out last week. So every issue provides MMA's outlook for the US stock market, Dow Jones, S&P futures, gold and silver, T-notes, euro, currencies, crude oil, and soybeans. Each issue also contains MMA's original geocosmic critical reversal dates, or CRDs, and the solar lunar reversal dates over the next few weeks for Dow Jones, gold, and silver, along with trading strategies for position traders. If you're not a subscriber, and if you wanted to check out the report, you can do so for just a 1-month subscription starting at only $35. All right, that's all for this week. We look forward to meeting with you again next year. There will be no free weekly report coming out at the end of next week. We again have a very happy new year, and we look forward to checking in with you in 2021.